Deb.
I can't. Happy Tuesday.
What's going on?
How's it going? I'm good.
Good.
Yes. It's
Um,
summer. I'm good.
I was gonna ask you a question. Now I can't remember. I did my stupid voice at the beginning. I wanted to try to throw you off from the Happy Tuesday thing, and then I threw myself off, so it didn't work that well. So what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. There's just lots going on. So
Yeah.
it's just everywhere, but I'm
Yeah.
good.
Have you started school yet?
We start in 2 weeks. So we start, or at least teachers go back for my district for secondary August 12th.
Okay.
And then kids the 15th. So I have 2 more weeks.
You guys are all kind of on the same page right now. I feel like that's most schools. I feel like you're normally a little bit off from everybody else, but it seems like everybody's starting that same time.
Yeah, we're starting a week later this school year.
Sure.
And then we're going to end a week later, I'm sure. But yeah, normally we would start next week, I think. Wait, no. Yes. Oh yeah, we would. Yeah, because it's already July 30th. Well, it's today. I know. I don't even know what day.
I can imagine that there's kids sitting in the gym right now waiting for Miss McCollum to show up. It's like, oh, school's happening right now. They've just been sitting there. It's like, I don't know where Deb is at.
It always makes me so sad when kids come to school the wrong day. So like when we have like our teacher work days for 3 days in a row, sometimes there's a couple of kids on campus, and we're like, what are you doing here? And they're like, oh, we thought school started. Like, no, go home. Have a couple more days. I feel so bad.
Yeah, I would too. I'll tell you what, I'm not a teacher, but as a student going to school, two dates that I knew for sure was the start of school and the end of school. Like I'm not going any earlier than I need to. And I'm definitely very aware of that last day of school. It was always interesting to me that people that just love school, you know what I mean? Like I get the idea of just, like loving being around your friends, being like learning and stuff like that. But, like the idea of being like loving being at school was a wild thought to me. I didn't get it.
Yeah, we have a lot of kids who stay after school for hours, and it could be for reasons of like their ride isn't there yet, or their parents can't come pick them up, or they live far away so they have to wait for a ride and they can't walk home.
Sure.
Or whatever. But yeah, they just hang out and they're just walking around campus. And unfortunately, that's when all the fights happen at my school sometimes. So
Sure.
Sometimes if I'm on campus after school doing whatever or at a meeting or whatever, I can hear over the intercom, our secretary saying, if you do not have an after school activity, go home. Like we are shutting campus down. So like, because they'll just hang out and it's their own little free time and they know all the teachers are off duty. So
Sure.
they just get into trouble. But some of them do like hanging out after school. I'm like, you don't even like being in my class. Go home. Why are you here? Like, you don't like school. I know you don't like school.
Yeah. So stop hanging around here. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll do this whole thing again.
It's their own little social playground.
Sure. Like I said, I don't get it, but yeah, for some people, and like you said, there's always external reasons why rides, different things like that. But I'm talking about like the person that like loves school. I can't wait for summer to be over. I'm like, oh, that person's a psychopath. They should be checked. And I mean that in the most kind way possible, but it's like, oh, I can't wait for the summer to end. Like, what? That's insane talk. Anybody who thinks that way is insane.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge nerd and I love school like so much to like I don't mind today. Like if I were to go back to school, I wouldn't mind it. But I never am ready for like break to be over.
Sure.
Like I'm always like looking forward to break, and then when break is over, I'm like, oh, like I'm not ready. But then when I'm at school, I like school and I like learning. But I'm never like antsy. Like I'm not antsy to go back to work. Like hell no.
I was gonna say you're speaking from the perspective of a student, though, right?
Of a student, yeah. I like college, I guess, more specifically. Like I could have, if high school could have flew by faster, that would have been great. Like I did not like being in public school, but like college, yeah, college was fun. I liked learning.
Oh, that's good. Well, that makes sense why you're a teacher.
Exactly.
And if anybody's wondering, no, I will not edit that out. You get all the coughs and the sneezes on this podcast. We don't chop any of it.
I've like I'm not like sick, but I'm like under the weather. You know how when people say I'm under the weather?
Sure.
Like to me, that just means like I'm just like not 100%. Like I'm not sick enough to like cancel things, but like I'm just not. Did I go for a run today still? Yes. Did I go for
Oh,
one?
you're running.
Yeah. I'm running a little bit.
Okay.
So finally taking, for those of you who don't know, my hips are 70 years old. I'm not supposed to be running, but I'm taking some like strong, I almost said antibiotics. They're not antibiotics. They're
What are
anti-inflammatories.
you on right now?
Celebrex.
Oh man, everybody buckle up. This is gonna be a wild episode because I don't know what's. I'm not even sure Deb knows what she's gonna say right now.
It's like the commercials where you see all the cute little old people like puttering around and like dancing because they're
That's
on.
you.
That's a me with my hips. Yes. So it's basically a strong anti-inflammatory. It's supposed to be easier on your tummy than ibuprofen, whatever. But I'm taking that twice a day, and my hips have been feeling like better in terms of just like the impact of walking. And then I tried jogging because I'm like, I don't care what anyone says. There is no alternative to running mentally for me. I'm sorry. There's just not. So I'm like, I'm gonna try to jog. So I've taken Nala, my dog, for a few jogs, and it's been fine. Just a short, like a half a mile jog walk
Okay.
type. Yeah. So I'm
And
getting
in
it.
the back of Nala's mind, she's like, I'm gonna have to drag her at some point. One of these days, those old hips are gonna just give out on her, and it's like, oh no, and then she's gonna drag you back home.
She tries. She tries to drag. She for sure will drag me at the beginning. So I have to walk her for like 20 minutes to get her a little tired
Okay.
because she's got little legs. And
Sure.
then once we start, my jog is a little trot for her, like a little like very slow movements. And if she feels me pick up the pace, then she thinks it's on, and
Sure.
then she starts dead sprinting, and I have to like pull her back and be like, nope, I can't. No, Nala.
Do you go to the dog parks at all?
No, Nala doesn't play well with other animals
Okay.
yet. So we avoid the dog parks.
Sure.
We avoid anything off leash, but she loves people. I'll take her to breweries and she's so excited that there's so many people there. She's like wagging her tail, she's going up to everybody. But other dogs, we just need space from other dogs right now. I
Okay.
wish I could take her to the dog park.
I feel like dog
Yeah.
parks are always weird. I never took our dog to the dog park. I just don't think she would have done that well there. I think she would have just been all over the place, which is kind of the point. But then it's
Yeah.
always weird. Like there's a dog park not too far from us, and so we'll see the dogs running around there, and it is very funny because I feel like you have some owners that are completely oblivious to what their dog's doing. It's similar to a regular park with kids. Some parents have no idea what their kid's doing, and then
Where they are.
or where they are, or if they're still there, and so yeah, it's always interesting that and that dog's causing fights and barking and growling at other dogs. It's a weird place for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I've had her for 2 months now, so I feel like we're getting, I'm still getting to know her, but I knew right away that she was like suspicious of other dogs. I don't know where she came from. I don't know her background or anything, but I just know that she loves people and she can't get enough of human love and even little babies. Like my other dog, Molly, she was a Queensland healer and she was suspicious of everybody and everything. Like for her to like you, would have had to be around her consistently, like even as like a human. Like she just didn't like. I couldn't take her to dog parks. I like taking her on walks. Like even people approaching her, she would kind of like be skittish,
Sure.
be like, I don't know you. So she was a mostly stay at home dog and just walk by ourselves. I could take her on runs too,
Yeah.
but
Well, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that's probably because of all the crime documentaries you guys were watching on Netflix together, and that dog was probably terrified of the world, thinking like there's someone to get us at any point. Doesn't matter where we go. I'm suspicious of everybody because I've seen too much on Netflix. And shout out to Deb for influencing that dog's mind. That's my
why do,
guess. Could be wrong.
why do,
But I think that's why that dog was suspicious.
why do you think she and I bonded? Why do you think I bond to dogs who are suspicious creatures?
See, it makes sense.
Nala, she does not suspicious of humans though, or I don't know. She could be, I guess. I don't know. I haven't needed her to protect me on the streets or anything yet, but I feel like she would.
Yeah, I'm sure
So
she would. I think she's keeping it close to the chest. I think she's all her suspicious. She's treating
Mhm.
life like a game of Clue. She's not going to show you her cards yet, but she's taking note. And she's like, it could
Yeah,
be, Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe in the library,
right.
but she doesn't want to show her cards yet because she wants to, do a little more investigating.
Yeah, but she is suspicious of other animals, and it didn't help when the other night a freaking cat like jumped out of the bushes and tried to attack us. I'm not even joking.
I
Like
hate cats.
we're just walking, and there is a section of our walk it by my apartment complex where I know that there's feral kittens and cats in the bushes,
It's like
and
a gang.
I know they are,
They own the
and
corner.
Nala knows where they are too, to be honest, but I'm working on her with not being so like pulling on the leash and being like so fixated and like hyper aggressive. Like we're working on that right now. So I make her walk by it so I can practice, some things with her calming down. But for some reason, a few nights ago, we walked by that bush and she was fixated. Like she could smell them, right?
Sure.
But I'm working on commands with her, like leave it. And like we keep walking. And this black cat, and I used to have a black cat. So this is not a shade on black cats. I'm just saying that's the color. Well, I like cats, but for sure that
Wait,
Nala
what?
wants
You
to,
like cats?
I do like cats.
I don't think I knew that. I thought you were just a dog person. I thought we were on the same page here. All right.
I like I like all animals. I'll just say that. Any
That's a
animal.
good point. You like snakes and stuff like that.
I like what?
Snakes.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll hold a snake. I just don't like insects, like bugs, things.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit. I thought you said incest. I'm like, well, that's good.
Yeah, well,
I'm
that
glad to hear that. I'm
too.
glad we cleared that up.
We'll just say that too. But anyway,
Insects. Got it. Okay.
so this black cat just comes guns ablazing, and this was probably mama cat,
Sure.
because there's kittens there, and I get it. But she just like a freaking flying squirrel came out of the bushes, like hair standing up, like just start hissing right away, claws out, I'm sure. I jumped back and Nala actually was like taken aback too. She just kind of looked at it like, what are we doing? And like Nala didn't bark or growl or anything. She just kind of squared up on it too, like puffed her chest out,
Yeah.
and I made Nala, like I pulled her so we ran across the street. But I swear to God, this cat like was gonna chase us.
Yeah. It was
But
stalking
it
you.
did.
What were the first words out of your mouth?
I don't know, probably like fuck or something. Like I just was like,
F you, cat.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I just yelled, and then I ran across. I pulled Nala because Nala wants to protect me or whatever, or eat the cat or I don't know,
Sure.
and pulled her, so she came with me thankfully across the street. And the cat stayed over there, and I made Nala sit down and I checked her. I didn't know if I didn't see the cat get her, and the cat didn't touch me, but like not very close. I just
Sure.
checked her really quick, and she was fine. And then I looked at Nala and I was like, yeah, that cat will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Don't mess with cats. Sorry. Just kind of looked at me. And then we just kept walking. And I'm just like, okay, can this, and earlier that night I almost hit a coyote. I don't know. I don't know what was happening that day. I was just hoping no other animal incidences would happen. I was just trying to finish my walk and hurry up and go
Huh.
inside.
You
That
probably
was
should
a
stay
weird.
away from zoos. Seems like you have a
I
problem.
I don't know.
It's
That
like
was just
Dr.
a weird.
Doolittle.
Well, and in that same park that I walk her in, I've literally have had blue jays dive bomb my head because there are nests up in there.
Sure.
But I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm not doing anything. I'm just walking.
It probably sees
So
the bun on your head and it's like, we could make something
he's
out
the,
of that.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I blame Nala. I think it's Nala's fault. They think Nala's gonna get the birds in the trees. I don't know.
Interesting. All right.
It's been a bit strange. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
anyway,
this sounds like the start of you becoming like a weird animal lady that just has animals following her around all the time.
I
But
don't know.
you know, well, that's good. Keep us updated on that. We'll see how this situation progresses as you go throughout life. Um, I do want to go back to the dog park thing. Like I said, dog parks are a little bit weird, but have you ever thought about this? It'd be interesting if you had like a dog park type situation, but for people. Like if you had like a friend or something like that you wanted to socialize a little bit more, you could bring them into this situation and just let them go and they can meet other people. Maybe it's a dating type situation, right? Like it's like instead of like speed dating or an app, you have like a dating park where you just bring these people in. It's like, hey, you know what? I have a friend. they're having a tough time meeting somebody. You walk them in the park and you see other single people roaming around, kind of bumping into each other, looking at each other. You know, I mean, I think you probably skip like the dog bowls full of water. You probably have like real drinks there, but you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be, it's not like a bar or anything like that. You know what I mean? It would have to be in a caged situation. And you are bringing someone like a person couldn't just enter the cage by themselves. Like a dog's not going to enter a dog park by themselves, right? You have to have someone that's going to bring them. And so with like the intention of, hey, I'm going to bring you here to socialize. I don't know. It's a thought.
Just add alcohol and it is a bar.
That's what I'm saying. So you got to separate it a little bit from the bar, so the alcohol can be present. That's fine, but you know, like I said, not quite a bar, but just like a people park. It's a thought. It's a thought.
I feel like your brother Jordan would love something like that.
I think you don't know my brother Jordan.
I know.
I think you would hate that, and I think you could probably, they could probably do without the leashes. I mean, whatever they're into, I guess. But that's probably gonna have a different feel to it. Probably other places that would be more for that type of thing. But yeah, no leashes, just people. Let them wander around.
That'd be a different party if leashes were involved.
Sure, that's probably somewhere in a dungeon somewhere.
That's different.
Places people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Probably special chat groups for that type of thing. Not on this podcast though.
We're not experts on it.
No, I'm not even an amateur in that world. So sounds like something that Rich Aunt Deb would be into.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe not into, but she would dip her toe in the water. You know what I mean?
I would definitely want to hear stories about it. That's for sure.
From Rich Aunt Deb.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, she could fund the whole thing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you? How's the hat situation going?
She hasn't made too many appearances this summer,
Oh,
but
low profile.
I know. I was in San Diego last weekend too, and I didn't even bring her. But I was also only packing a carry-on, so I'm like, I can't even fit a Rich Aunt Deb hat in a carry-on.
Well, there's your problem, because there's no way in the world that Rich Aunt Deb is just doing carry-on.
Exactly.
No, she's got a few bags that she's checking.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to, so I have one more trip that I planned. So I'm going to Hawaii.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for the first time. I've never been there, so I'm so excited.
That's gonna be cool.
I know. I think I'm carrying on only that for that too. So I might, if I'm gonna bring a hat, I'm gonna have to just wear it.
Yeah.
Wear it to the airport.
Oh well, and maybe not. Yeah, maybe that'd be a bad idea. It's gonna take up like 5 seats.
Right? I know. So it may have to stay home, but I think I got to have it out one time this summer. So.
Oh no, I'm very aware. We were notified. As a podcast, we were notified.
Twice. No, 2 times I brought it out. I had it out.
Sure, 2 times. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good for you. So yeah, well, maybe a regular hat, a human size hat in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You have I'm sure we talked about this before, but do you have plans for Hawaii? Anything you have set up, or anything that you're considering doing while you're there?
I mean, so we're going to the Big Island. I'm going with Kaylin and my friend Jen.
Awesome.
She knows somebody there that we're staying with. So I don't know. I'm just here for the ride. I don't know the itinerary. I don't know what we're doing.
Okay.
No clue. So I'm just here. But that's how I roll on vacation.
I'm getting that sense. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah. I'm the one who I'm like, I don't care what our plans are, or if we have any. I'm happy to go.
Well, and it sounds like you're the person that the people who actually have the connection have to explain who you are. It's like, oh, this is my friend Deb. She's, this is how we're connected. Da 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 da. They have to kind of introduce you that way each time.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That's good that you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's Rich and Deb. I'm just totally go with the flow.
Sure.
With or without the hat.
I was saying that's Rich Aunt Deb. That's definitely real Deb as well. So
exactly.
Well, that's good. That's good. That will be a fun trip, and looking forward to hearing the stories from that.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I tell you last time we recorded that I totaled my car? Did I say I got a car? I don't know.
Yes.
Okay,
No.
told you.
Was okay. So hold on. Now I'm having PTSD because last time we recorded was that bullcrap
It was
phone. Man, everything putting that even putting that on my computer to post that. I think I called it technical difficulties. I felt so ashamed. I'm like, this is such low quality. Even doing it on our phones, it was even like less quality than we were used to. And then it sounded bad. It sounded like I was underwater the whole time. And it was like, this is driving nuts. Put it out there. We're not perfect. You guys know that we're not perfect by any means. So it's like, okay, sometimes we just got to roll with it and get it out there. But yeah, that was a trash episode. And so all that being said, yeah, I think you mentioned that you had a car issue, and I think you weren't. I think if I remember correctly, you weren't sure if it was going to be totaled or not. So it sounds
yeah,
like you got your answer.
it's totaled,
Dang.
and
I remember when you got that car too. You were so excited.
I was so proud of myself. That was my first big girl purchase
I
for
know.
sure.
I think you bought it right before a podcast that we recorded together.
Yeah, yeah, I've had it for 3 years. It
Yeah.
was brand new.
Yep.
Yeah, it's totaled. I get a pretty good check for it though, more than I thought I'd get. So my plan is to just get a newer used car and just not have a car payment.
There you go.
I don't know what I want. I have no idea. But I only have my rental until next week, so I need to figure it out. I
What's
don't
the
have it.
rental?
It's a Mazda CX-30. I don't know what year. Pretty new. It's pretty new.
Nice.
Nice. It's red. I don't really like red. I don't. Red's not my color. I think it's because my hair is red. I don't know.
But it kind of makes sense though, doesn't it? Like I think if someone saw someone like with red hair in a red car, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. They probably also make a lot of assumptions about you.
I guess I don't
It's
know.
like she's one of those gingers.
I look at it and I'm like, ugh, I need a white. I needed my white car back. I like white. White. I think white looks cleaner. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I
Okay.
like white over gray. I don't like colored cars. I don't like owning a colored car.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I don't know what I'm. I don't know. I'll let you know what I get when I get it.
Yeah, so I had to rent a car a couple years ago, and I was just talking to Jordan about this on the episode him and I recorded, um, where we had to go. We had a car issue on coming back from one of our vacations, and we were about 5 hours away from home right before Thanksgiving. So luckily, we found a shop that was willing to keep our car and then work on it, and then we had to get a rental car there. But the rental car, I think we got some kind of Nissan. It was a pretty nice Nissan. So we drove that Nissan home. It was great. And then I knew that it was going to be a while. So we took the rental car back. And then when we were getting ready to go, we got another rental car to go out there. Just the way it worked. It's like, okay, we'll take another rental car out there, drop it off, and then pick up our car. The rental car that we got from the way back sucked. I'm like, oh, this car sucks. It was like it felt like it was just made out of plastic. I'm not even gonna say what kind of car it was, but it was trash. And like, this is such a downgrade. You're all excited, like, oh, we had to give you, we have a small SUV instead of the small car you had before. I'm like, oh, awesome, cool. It was not awesome or cool. It was trash, and I feel like the thing was gonna fall apart. I'm like, am I gonna break down picking up the car that was just repaired? This seems crazy, but yeah, rental cars are strange because they give you that range of the kind of car it can be, and you never know what it's gonna actually be like. You know what I mean?
Well, what's funny is that a few years ago, I think it was recent, but not too recent. It was a couple years ago. Um, Nicole is actually the one that convinced me to add rental insurance, to my insurance.
Sure.
Because she's like, I don't know why I don't know why we were talking about it. I don't know what, but we were like on the subject and I was looking at what I had in my insurance. And she's like, why don't you have rental insurance? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to add it. She's like, you never know what's going to happen. She's like, you just don't
Yeah.
know. You should add it. And she guided me on what to, here's what's going to get you a decent car. So it's funny. And like, so now because of the insurance I added, I have a nice car for a rental
See, there you go.
for, yeah. And she's the one who's like, you got a rental? Cool. And I'm like, yeah, you told me to add it. And she's like, I did. And I'm like, yes, you did. She doesn't even remember.
That's the best kind of advice, the one that you don't remember, you just know, you just get the credit for. How is Nicole doing? It's been a minute. We haven't seen her comment on any of our posts.
Well, she's been so busy at log offs. I
Sure.
just saw her at log off today. I was there today and yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm finishing up some summer school homework because I'm enrolled in a class right now. So I'm just So log off has become my Starbucks, so to speak.
Nice.
I just go there, I take Nala, and I sit there and I have a beer and I work on my homework. And I go early in the day so it's not crowded, like everyone's still at work type deal.
Sure.
And I know Nicole and I know the beer tenders, so it's kind of like social for me too.
Yeah,
So
Kenny, former guest.
yeah. Mhm. Who is now the owner? You know that, right?
No,
So
I've not been keeping up on log off.
okay, so Kenny was when he was on Connectable, he was the head brew master, but
Right.
now he has fully owns it.
Ah, shout out to
And
Kenny.
so,
Congrats, man.
yeah, he's the owner now, and then Nicole still manages. But they've been having crazy events there, so I actually helped them work last Friday an event there. It was called Titan Fest 2024, and it was basically like a metal rock band contest. So there were different bands that went in to. Anyway, it was the most busy I've seen log off I think ever.
Nice.
Like we had 3 different food vendors out in the front, which we never have that. They never have that many food vendors,
Yeah.
and the back patio was like the stage was set up. It was awesome. And then
There was an event that they did maybe a year or two ago. I think it was before Kenny was on. I think it was before Nicole. Yeah, I think it was before they came on. It was. I think they did like a story night. Does that sound familiar? And they had like I think they had people like you could sign up to tell a story. Does that make sense? I don't think it wasn't stand up, but it was like something similar. Does that make sense at all, or does that sound familiar?
that that makes sense. Yeah,
Okay,
I think so.
I thought it was a cool
Yeah,
idea. I was curious how it went, but
yeah,
yeah, I thought that was. Did
yeah.
they ever do stand up nights? Like they got little stand up,
They
some open
have
mic stand up comedy.
not in a while, but they have. They used to do that all the time.
Oh, interesting.
So
How does that go?
now
Because open mics are weird.
open mics are interesting. Well, maybe not. They've had more planned comedians come.
Okay, so not like an open mic. Yeah.
I feel like they've had at least one open mic night, but I could be wrong. I could be thinking of a different brewery.
Okay.
But 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 anyway, so she's been busy.
Gotcha.
And then this upcoming Saturday they have it's called Vibe and Vendors. Like they have a bunch of vendors coming to set up different booths there.
Awesome.
So she's booked herself, and there's lots of events going there right now. So
Okay.
yeah, all
Awesome.
kinds of stuff. Yeah, they have something. So they have a zombie club that goes there. I think I posted it one night because I took Nala there on accident.
You said, what'd you say?
So
What'd you say?
zombie club.
Zombie Club. Gotcha. Okay.
So I walked into Zombie Club on accident like a month ago, I want to say, and Nala and I went it was in the back patio, and it was so fun. Everyone was so nice, and
Anybody try
I
to
guess
bite you?
no, but they did put right away. They put flags on Nala like bandanas, and they're like, "All right, no one can kill the dog.
Oh,
The dog is
jeez.
safe." It was so
Jeez.
so we were just watching, and I mean, people. They started it as an anti-bullying campaign, so now they just kind of dress up as zombies, and they just have events, and everyone's super nice there, so it was really fun.
Okay. I've got to ask some
Yeah,
questions. Where?
yeah.
So okay, how is the anti-bullying thing connected to the zombies?
So someone there explained it to me, and let me see if I can explain it right.
Because I feel like a zombie. I feel like in most movies and shows, you want to beat the crap out of zombies. So I feel like that sends a weird message.
Right? So for them, it means, I guess, like if they're bullied or if they have, or if someone's been bullied, like you get called names. And for them, they're like, well, if you're going to call us a monster, then we're just going to be monsters. And so they just all kind of come together and they just dress up as crazy zombies, and they just they basically just are there for camaraderie and just make friends and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
kind of like it was like a backyard of misfits. But it was awesome.
Very
It
nice.
was so, and I have a zombie Halloween outfit, so I'm gonna wear one next time that they have one.
I think weren't you that last time you for our Halloween episode?
Yeah, I was a few years ago. I was a zombie for Halloween, and I still have all that stuff.
Oh
So
no.
that was like,
Yeah. What did you do this last year? Was it a zombie nurse or something like that?
oh no, I was just a nurse. Oh
Oh,
yeah, I guess I was a zombie nurse, but I think
or you were a nurse with blood all over your. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I was just a regular nurse.
I gotta start. I gotta start thinking of my costume now for that episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
July. We have a couple months.
we do. But I feel like what happens is I wait until I have a few days, and then I really
Yeah.
scramble. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna think of something good this year.
Okay.
A little ways
Good.
away. When's when's
Okay.
when's Log Off gonna do a mermaid night?
I don't know. I would love to know that.
Yeah,
I'll ask them.
and I think if they do that, and then it's like you have to have a tail, and you can't walk on your tail. You gotta flop around, and you see a bunch
That'd
of
be
people
very
on the ground.
tell Nicole to put like a pool outside, like a little.
See there, just a bunch of people piling in the pool.
just, just like a rental doughboy or something.
Yeah, they just keep like playing Under the Sea on repeat.
Yeah.
It's an idea. Hey,
It's an idea.
do you have a any kind of beer named after you? Is that going to happen? Is that in the works?
No, but I'll ask about that too.
Okay.
I'm gonna bug her about that.
Or can we get a connectable beer? I mean, I don't drink, but you do. So can we get a connectable beer out there?
Right? I'll have to ask Kenny. I'll talk to both of them. See, it just pays to know people.
All right. I don't believe you're going to do any of these things, but that's all right.
I'm there a lot now. Well, when school starts, I probably won't be, but because I'm not doing much during the day until school starts,
That makes sense.
I'm there drinking and doing homework. So
Okay.
yeah.
So let's think about this for a second, because again, because I don't drink, I don't know anything about the world of beer, the flavors, the taste, all that stuff. But let's workshop this for a second. So if we had a connectable beer, and it was based off what we do in our personalities, what would it look like? What are you thinking? What would that connectable beer be like?
So I feel like so you like energy drinks.
I do. Boom.
So right. So what would be like your favorite flavor of energy drink?
My favorite flavor of energy drink is probably energy drink. I love them all. No, I think
So
I'm trying
well,
to
that's
think.
not
Yeah, it's not helpful. I think I really do like any of them. I mean, like, let's see. My favorite right now is like one of those like you know, like those like summer like red, white, and blue popsicles.
Mhm.
I have one of those. That's probably not very helpful, but like what like a fruit flavor? Is that
Yeah,
a
so we
grape?
would probably grape.
This is lemonade.
Okay. Well, we would probably do like a seltzer
Okay.
then. We could do like I mean, seltzers are mostly fruity anyway,
Okay.
because they do seltzers there
Okay.
and do a sour every once in a while. I personally like either hazies or the lighter beers, but I do like a good seltzer.
Okay.
So I feel like we would be like a raspberry or blueberry seltzer.
Oh, okay.
That
Perfect.
can be,
Do
that
you
can
think
be,
people would enjoy that?
oh yeah, people love seltzers there.
Do you think people would like that seltzer more than they listen to our podcast?
I mean, it could be 50-50.
Perfect. Sounds like the perfect drink for us then. So, okay. Well, you work on that, Deb. Let us know if we can get a connectable seltzer out there. Because I
All
feel
right.
like that's our next step. We were featured in a magazine one time, a local magazine, which was pretty cool. Uh, and you know, we've had the opportunity to be on different people's podcasts, which is great. But I feel like we need something like the next step is to be like featured somewhere, either at like have a drink named after us or a
Yeah.
sandwich. If anybody has a restaurant or like a sandwich shop, we know like Vance from Mr. Pickles. You know, he's been on the podcast before. So I'm just saying, maybe there's something that we can get on the board somewhere.
So what kind of sandwich would we be then?
Ooh, I don't know. What kind of sandwiches do you like?
I like turkey and bacon and avocado. Like that's my go-to sandwich.
That sounds pretty good. I like those things as well. That's
Yeah.
it. It has to have like has to have like a twist on it. I don't know. We'll think of something.
No. Okay.
Yeah, we'll workshop this. Anybody out there listening, you know, I don't care what it is. Well, if you want to name a donut after Connectable, we'll take anything.
We'll
Anything.
take.
We need help. We've been doing this for a long time. So, all right. We'll put some feelers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
And then a car suggestion for me would be great too. I have no idea what to get, so
A car suggestion. Now, let me ask you this. Would you be open if someone offered you a car but that you had to wrap it in connectable colors? Would you be open to that?
and connectable colors.
Yeah, like a connectable wrap.
Like our like teal, isn't our colors teal?
Yeah, but it's got to have the logo on the side. Just like you're trying to like sell, like those people that sell like windows and stuff like that have their own wraps on their
No,
car.
I don't need people knowing who's driving that car.
Can
I
I,
need to be unidentifiable. That's why I like white cars or silver or something like that. Another car that stands out.
what are you planning on robbing a bank?
I mean, who knows? I don't know what I'm planning on doing.
Like a bank robbery is always in the back of a teacher's mind. It's like we
Yeah.
don't get paid enough. If it
Pay
push comes to
salaries.
shove, knocking over a chase. All right. Well, maybe yeah. I mean, that's good. Don't wrap your car with the connectable stuff. Just like our faces on the back windshield.
Maybe that. Maybe that.
All
But
right. Just a thought. Just a thought. Have you been watching the Olympics?
I literally have watched zero Olympics so far.
I've watched just a
Um,
little bit because my wife's really into it. I've told people this before. I think what throws me off with the Olympics is the fact that some of it's not live.
mm,
So I feel like social media tends to ruin some of that stuff. So it's like, what happens and then the event happens later. It's like, I already know what happened, the whole thing. So it's
yeah,
impressive. I'm always really impressed by the athletes that compete. Cause like, man, the amount of time that you have to dedicate to this
yeah,
is insane. And especially it's not like it's not like a different like professional sport like the NBA or the NFL where the potential of making a ridiculous amount of money is possible. Like they don't really make a crazy amount of money compared to some other sports, but like they're just doing it for the pride and for the being able to represent the country and all that stuff. But it's like, man, the amount of work that goes in and all the years that they've put in, it's pretty wild.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
You know.
What? Okay. What was the big fuss of the opener? The opening ceremonies. I read things about it. I didn't watch it. I don't like. I just don't. Aside from Grey's Anatomy, I'm like not looking at my TV ever these days.
Yep.
Like
I wasn't
I'm
expecting
not.
that. I should have. Yeah.
I'm just like I don't know if that means I'm not patriotic. I just don't. I just have not watched. I've heard about it and I'll like read about it and stuff, but I haven't watched anything. So, did
Yeah.
you watch the opening ceremonies and what was your opinion on that?
To be honest with you, I haven't even gone back to see. I think I've seen
Hmm.
some still shots of when it went on. I haven't even fully looked into it. I've heard people talk about it, and I think it. Um, I feel like it had to do with there was a certain display that people had issue with because I think it depicted the Last Supper photo or picture in a certain way that I feel like a lot of people felt was really disrespectful. Again, I actually haven't really looked into it. That's kind of my general knowledge of what happened. So I think that was kind of where the controversy was. Um, so that's all I really know, to be honest with you. I know there was a big issue. I have a general idea of what happened, but beyond that, I have no idea. So
Okay.
um, yeah, but I do know it's never good when those things become an issue. You know what I mean? Like I remember like when they did the
Right.
Beijing Olympics, however many years ago, like everybody was talking about how incredibly beautiful it was and how well orchestrated and all that stuff. Like that's kind of what you want. I feel like it's never great when there's some kind of controversy in
Right.
the opening ceremonies because I feel like it takes away from all the hard work that you put into it. But
Right.
that's just me. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any thoughts about it, but I don't have too much knowledge of it. I just know I do believe there was a religious element to it, and feeling like there was a disrespectful depiction of that specific picture.
Yeah, I know. I don't really. Yeah, I know nothing. I just read somewhere like, and then a few of my friends were like on a group chat, being like, "Are you guys watching the opening ceremonies? It's really weird."
Yeah,
And then like never jumped in, and I would kind of scroll through like scrolling through social media. I could see that some like celebrities would start to like make videos and talk about it, and then I would just keep scrolling. I'm like, I'm not watching this.
sure.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't have time. I just have time to open the memes that my friends have sent me, watch those, and then go to bed.
there you go.
so,
There you go.
so yeah, so I didn't know. So I just didn't know if you watched it or if you had it.
No,
Maybe.
I missed the whole opening ceremony. And it was a similar thing. I'm like, I heard from people who are like, that was weird. Like, oh, all right. I have no idea. And then I kind of, started piecing things together later, but I still have not even gone back to watch what it
Yeah.
was, to be honest with you. But maybe I should. Maybe I should. So I'm in the know a little bit more. But um,
For anyone who's listening who wants to, I bet people are like wanting to like, this is what happened and this is why. And like,
they're
so
just
please
screaming.
feel, yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
Tell
very
me more.
sorry. We're not informed.
I'm so bad at keeping up on like what's happening in the world, which is not good, but
It's a
I feel
lot. Well, and especially around this time of year with politics and everything.
mm,
Just so everybody knows, if you're new to this podcast, if you're expecting any kind of conversations about that, you're gonna be sorely disappointed with us
sorely.
because it's not really our lane at all. So very sorry, but I can point you in the direction of some other ones that are really good about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Same.
um, do you ever think about the Olympics? And is there like a sport that you wish, maybe like a silly sport that you wish was a part of the Olympics? Like they always do on ESPN, they always do the Ocho, that one or 2 days where they do those ridiculous, wacky sports. Is there anything that out there that you thought, what, if this was an Olympic sport, I'd be more into it?
Nothing comes to mind right now, but can you like, do you have something, like an
Oh, I
example?
think for me, like I love spike ball. I think if you had spike ball, I think that would be awesome. Spike ball would be a lot of fun.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
trying to think if there would be
Okay.
another one.
Well, and if I can include the things that I teach my kids in PE, hell yeah. Like ultimate, what do we call it? Ultimate frisbee, like
Oh, I
ultimate
love
basketball.
ultimate frisbee.
Yeah.
Dodgeball. If they had dodgeball in the Olympics, I think that would be fantastic.
I'm surprised they don't.
And you guys can't do dodgeball, right? Or can you guys do like a form of dodgeball?
It can. It
Just but like they were
they
like the soft.
they actually love it. Like they actually beg for it. So
Because it's awesome. They're right to be begging for it.
we can. We just need to. Yeah, we have them use gator balls, which you literally I could chuck it as hard as I can at a kid's face from 5 feet away, and they won't get hurt. Like it's
Have you
just
thought about
you.
doing that?
Oh, absolutely.
A couple. You have names and faces in your head right now, don't you? Yeah. It's like good thing you graduated last year.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, they like it. It's just in a it's hard when you're at the high school age and you have the boys that are developing faster than the girls at a certain point.
Sure.
In middle school, I feel like it's an even playing field,
Sure.
like strength wise and speed wise. But then in high school, the boys start to like hit puberty and get stronger. So, and they get more aggressive.
Yeah.
So the boys want to play and like maybe a handful of girls want to, but the rest like could care less.
Like the
So it just
athletes.
Right. So it just gets to a point to where the girls are like, I don't want to, like, they refuse.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them because the boys are obnoxious and aggressive. So it's like we kind of leave dodgeball up to the elective classes where it's mostly boys in that class.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I remember there was so at the high school I went to, the 2 years I did PE, they had at the end, it was like the last 2 weeks of the semester, they would do these things called color wars. So they would take all three. There was two PE classes, and then there was an advanced. It was like a weightlifting class, but like for athletes, advanced body conditioning. And they would take all three groups for that period, and they would mix them up and then break them into three teams. Right. So it was Casserole High School. So it was blue, white, and silver, I think. And so they would have those three groups, and they would compete in all these like almost like field day type events.
Mhm.
And they were awesome. It was always a lot of fun. But there was one game, I couldn't tell you the name of it, but basically you were in the gym and you had two teams. You had a team on one side of the basketball court, a team on the other side of the basketball court in a line. And you had the other team that was supposed to run through the middle from one end, from baseline to baseline, right? And you wanted to get as many people across as possible without getting hit by the ball. And the people on the sidelines were supposed to throw the balls at the people that were running. And it was the same type of thing, like the soft, squishy balls.
Yeah.
Well, this was when I was a freshman. There was a kid who was a senior, and he played varsity baseball. He was known for throwing like 92, 93 miles per hour. And I saw him grab that ball and just send one. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like just watching, to your point, there's just a physical difference. And when you see someone that can throw that hard in high school, it's just a very different thing. Like I know it's not going to hurt, but if someone that's not expecting that gets hit by that, that's going to be a very
Yeah.
rude awakening. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a different animal. It's I love that stuff though. I'm a guy, so I mean that's part of it. But I enjoyed those games.
Well, and so when I teach my volleyball unit, I have to be very careful with, like, I basically let my kids pick their own teams,
Okay,
which which is sometimes discourage, we don't like to do that because they just stick with their friends and whatever.
sure.
But for volleyball, because our nets have to be girl height, because there's girl height and there's boy height, because we have girls in the class.
Oh, I didn't
Well,
know that.
yeah, so there's a girl height net and there's a boy height net. That's like
Oh, I thought
boy.
I had no idea. I thought it was just like a standard size. What's the height difference, or what are the two
I think
heights?
the boys are. I couldn't tell you foot wise
Sure.
because what I do on the poles is I count, and I know that. So I'm like, all right, the girls need to go 7 holes up, and the boys are like
Okay,
9, 10 holes up. So it's like a 3-4 inch difference,
a
if I
three
could
hole
guess.
difference. Okay,
A whole
yeah.
difference, yeah. So we have it at girls' height
Okay.
because of girls. I could do I mean, there is a co-ed height, but I just keep it at the girls'
Wait,
height.
what?
Um,
What is going on? This is like blowing my mind. I didn't know this was a thing at all.
mhm.
So there's
Yeah,
three different heights.
there's girls co-ed, and the co-ed is just in the middle between the girls and the boys' height.
Okay, so two holes. All right,
Yeah,
sure.
I guess.
Whatever. Sure.
So we just keep it at the girls' height. And some of the girls, it's funny in high school, at least right now when I'm teaching, the girls are like smaller than me and the guys are way taller than me. So I feel like there's a huge height discrepancy right now.
Hmm.
I'm not sure why. I don't know. But anyway, so we have volleyball, and of course I have my boys who are not only aggressive and competitive, but they can jump high.
Sure.
And it's a volleyball. It's not a freaking gator ball.
Yeah.
So I literally so if you walk in my class sometimes, depending on how many boys and girls I have in my class, it looks like I have deliberately separated the girls from the boys. We are taught not to do, but I'm like,
Sure.
no, this is a safety thing. My girls don't want to get hit in the face.
Sure.
And I don't either if I were them. So I let them go on their court and they play a little more like cooperatively, a little more nicely. It's their level.
Sure.
And so I call it my cooperative court and my competitive court, where I have the boys chucking the ball down their throats, but they're able to like return it.
Sure.
And they're able to play. And if they get hit in the face, they're like, I'm good. And they just keep going. And I'm just over here like, oh my God, please don't kill each other. And so, but yeah, because there is no modified volleyball unless it's a gator ball, but that's not fun.
You like play with I feel like I've seen people play with like balloons,
Yeah.
or like a beach ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. Volleyball's
No.
fun. I haven't played for a while, but I enjoyed playing volleyball. No, I know
They
you have a background in volleyball. Do you ever get out there? You ever have anybody step to you, challenge you?
I'll get out there.
That's
Yeah. When I get a court where where boys are talking shit
Yeah.
against another team, and if they're down a player, I'll jump in there. And they'll be like, "What? Not fair!" And I'm like, "Listen, I'm like twice your age. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that fast.
I got a
anymore.
bad hip.
I got a bad hip." So if anything, I just help them communicate on my side of the court. Like, I don't, like, I'm not like, they're actually pretty good. Usually all the boys that I play with in my classes.
Okay.
And then I get a girl that'll come in and kick ass. And so I'm like, you go, girl.
I think that would be the toughest thing for me as a teacher, a PE teacher. It's like the competitiveness would be tough, especially when they're talking trash.
I'll jump in the games every once in a while. Not all the time. They want me to play all the time, but when I play, then I can't watch the rest of my class. Like, I just can't.
Sure.
So every once in a while, though, I'll jump in.
What's your favorite game to jump in
on? Soccer's pretty fun. I'll just jump in and I'll just start running and chasing, and I'll just steal the ball and go. And they're like, "What? We didn't know you were playing." And I'll just keep going, and I'll be like, "Well, I'll do that when they're not moving fast."
Sure.
When I know that they aren't trying, then I'll just jump in there.
Yeah.
And so
if they complain, you just tell them, it's like, "Hey, you're lucky this is not indoor soccer like I normally play, because I would have checked you into the wall." So you just shut up and keep playing.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. So maybe once for every unit I teach, one time I'll jump in there.
Sure. Is there any that you're like, like I can't. This is not my sport. I try to avoid this one as much as possible.
No, I'll jump in all of them.
A true athlete. There you go.
I'll just do it. Well, because I demo everything,
Sure.
so they show.
Basketball? You're okay at basketball?
No, I don't teach basketball. Hell no.
Okay, so there you go. That's the one. That's the one.
Maybe that could be the one, I guess. But yeah, we don't offer basketball. We offer basketball as like an elective class
Okay.
rather than our core units with our teams. We don't offer that.
Taught by Coach Rawlings.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So because it's so popular, we save it for our our elective classes to give all the kids who want to play competitively get a chance to do that in the elective class.
Makes sense.
So yeah.
Which is smart. That's a good way because I mean basketball is a great workout. Anytime I play basketball for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm gonna die, and I'm not even
Yeah.
moving that fast. So yeah, if that's a way to get kids moving, they can take that class. That's a great way to keep them active.
Oh yeah. It's PE is I'm not just saying this because I teach it, but like it's really important for like to be built into kids' school day. Like they have to get out of the classroom.
Sure.
They're I don't know how you go all day sitting down.
Yeah, makes
Like
sense.
we wonder why kids these days are here I go on my soapbox ready. We wonder why kids these days are like depressed, like all up in their phone, have anxiety issues, have health issues, mental health issues. They need to get out, they need to move,
Yeah,
and they need physical activity, and they need to get outside and do those kinds of things. So
and that was
that's all.
PEPSA by Deborah McCollum.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree. Makes sense that the importance of that is huge for sure.
You know what's funny is that when was it? I think it was Saturday or Friday. No, Saturday. I think it was Saturday. Um, I don't know. I was really cranky. That like I woke up. I don't know why. I don't know what it was. I was just like I'm cranky. I don't know why. And then I went. My friends and I had planned to go paddleboarding that day for one of my friends' birthdays,
Nice.
and I just was like, I don't want to go. Like I need a day to myself. Like I just don't want to go. I went, of course, and as soon as we get outside, and I swear it's because I'm in the sun.
Sure.
And I'm out there moving and doing something social and moving my body and in the sun. I like immediately felt better.
See, there you
I
go.
was like, okay, I needed this, I think. So yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, just every time, anytime I'm feeling not great, I'll go for a walk or I'll do something. Like I said, I'm starting to run again and go outside and I just feel better right away. So
Oh yeah.
I try to tell them that too when they're like in a bad mood. I'm like, go for a walk,
Sure.
go run a walk. Like you'll feel better.
100%.
Yeah.
We've talked about this a lot on this podcast, and I'm a huge advocate of that as well. I've told you before. There's been times where I have just like a tangled ball of yarn in my head. I go for a run, and then all of a sudden it just like all untangles, and I feel a lot better. So yeah, huge believer in that for sure. I don't think I've ever seen you cranky. Probably don't want. I probably don't want to see it. Maybe you just hide it well. Maybe you're like maybe I'm oblivious to it. Maybe you've come on this podcast and you just have that look like I hate this dude so much, and I wish he would shut his stupid mouth. And I'm like, hey, how was your week? Da, da, da. Little Debbie, making my stupid jokes, and you're just on the verge of murder. I don't know. Maybe
It's
I'm
okay.
just missing the signs.
No, because I've gone running before that. It's fine.
Oh, perfect. Shout out to running. Saved my life. There you go.
I don't. Not many things bother me. That's just how I. It's just how I roll.
That's a good
Yes.
thing.
No. When I'm at work, especially, it's like, well, and for the record, I'm never. We do this for fun. Okay, this is another outlet of mine. But at work, if I'm like cranky, like I'm in front of teenagers, I have to hide it. I can't.
Sure.
So I've taught myself to do that at work in the school setting at least.
Sure.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like, and then we just go. That doesn't mean I'm like bubbly and smiley. That just means like I'm just professional.
Yeah, professional. That makes sense.
Yeah, if I tend to yell at more kids that day than normal, then so be it. But
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It happens everywhere. You can't avoid it all the time.
exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
cool. Well, I think it's been a good chat. Nice little catch up with no direction. Oh, I will say this. We went to Disneyland at this point when this airs a couple weeks ago. So that was
Cool.
good. Yeah. It's always I don't know if you're a Disney person at all, but yeah,
I love Disneyland. Did you guys go to both parks?
we did. We did two at Disneyland, one at California Adventure.
Oh my
And
gosh, nice.
I joke with everybody, growing up, I didn't have parents that were teachers. And so
Hmm.
I was always spoiled in the sense that we weren't bound to like the school
Yeah,
breaks. We could go on the off
yeah,
times. And so like the line, I always tell people, my parents one time said, hey, you know what we're going to request independent study for you guys. And so the week after Thanksgiving, went to Disneyland for a few days, and it was the greatest because everybody's already back in school. Like everybody just had their break, so most people are
yep,
not doing vacations except for the Takimotos. They're like, "Hey, let's do this one time." Only time they ever did it. We went to Disneyland that next week. There was like no one there. I think the longest wait was maybe 15, 20 minutes, and so
nice.
we were always able to go on some of those off times because, like I said, I didn't have teacher parents. And then meeting my wife, she has a family full of teachers and she's a teacher herself, and so you are kind of bound to those break times. And some of those summertime is wild. It's very
Yeah,
crowded, very hot. And
yes,
so yeah, it's a different beast there, but it went well though. It went well. it's always
good.
it's always fun to see the change in people's demeanor as you walk through the park. Like everybody that morning, everybody's super excited, and then you see people at the end of the day, and there's like you could tell they're on the verge of fighting someone, either their spouse, their kids. It's a
Right.
different animal when you walk through there. But it was a good trip,
What was your kid's favorite ride?
man. It's funny. They out of all the rides there, they kept saying the carousel, which was very funny. My family was like, "Oh, it's cool. You guys could have gone to the mall and done that." I said, "100%." But
We got to them.
I think there's a bunch of them that they really enjoyed. Our oldest seems to love roller coasters and fast rides, so that was fun to see her reaction to some of that stuff. But yeah, there's a couple of rides that they really enjoyed, but the one they keep saying is the carousel. They love that one, so they loved
Go to
all of
them
them,
all.
but for some reason that one's stuck in their mind. So
So
yeah, they had a good time with that. But yeah, it was a good trip. Yeah,
nice,
wasn't too crazy as far as the summer crowd and all of that, but yeah, it was good.
good. Do you would you and Rachel like take turns, like you guys going on like the more adult rides, like one at a time while the other watches the girls, or like how did that work?
Yeah, I think we just I talked to her ahead of time. I'm like, you know what? Let's just make if instead of trying to figure that out every time. I said with our oldest, why don't you, if she wants to go on one of the bigger rides, why don't you just do it, and I'll hang out with the little one, and we'll do stuff while you guys do that. So it was just the easier way to do it. And I told her, I said, hey, if the time allows and she wants to go on one of those again, and
Yeah,
the line's not too bad, then we can switch. But I wanted to make sure she had the opportunity to do those rides with her for the first time.
yeah,
So that's just kind of how we decided to do it. And so yeah, it worked out well. So
nice.
yeah. But anyways, that's just a quick little period on the end of this podcast.
Are you
um
guys do more vacations for you before Rachel goes back to school, or are you guys is that it?
no, I
Just
don't
done?
think so. I think we're pretty much done at this point, just hanging out and enjoying the last bit of summer. So
Yeah,
uh,
nice,
yeah, should be good. But anyways, we'll wrap
nice.
this thing up. uh, Deb, where can they follow us?
You guys can follow us on Twitter at Connectable Pod and all the other platforms like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok at Connectable Podcast.
There we go. And if you can subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and also YouTube, we would definitely appreciate it. And then please give us a 5-star rating and review. We would also appreciate that as well. Next week, we should have a guest. So stay tuned for that. And we will see you guys next week. See ya. Thanks for watching the show. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you like it, share it, and hit the subscribe button to get a new episode every week. We'll see you next time on the Connectable Podcast.